Hi, welcome to a quick first look analysis of the Gaul civilization, which is coming out on the 24th of September with the new Frontier Pass update, along with Byzantium, which I also made a video about. So their leader is Ambiorix, and this looks like a very interesting civilization. They completely changed the district logic with their unique ability, which gives all of his districts minor adjacency bonuses from mines. It also makes them culture bomb unowned territory, and it also gives mines themselves +1 culture from other adjacent mines. The downside is that you cannot build any districts next to city centers, and districts do not get adjacency bonuses from each other. So this ability completely changes the district logic and how you are going to plan districts. They are going to be really bad on flat maps, but they will be really powerful on the maps with a lot of hills. The new Highlands map script is going to be really good with these guys. Even having a bunch of hills where you can build mines will give you some pretty damn powerful districts with a lot of flexibility where to actually build and position them. You don't have to care about building like district triangles, because districts will not get bonuses from each other anyway. So you can spread your districts out and build them in the best possible slot for each and single one of them. I'm also thinking the Hermetic Order leyline bonus is going to be pretty damn good as the goals, because one, you have a lot of flexibility where to place districts for their optimal bonus, but you also kind of need additional adjacency bonuses, because you will miss out on a lot of really good ones. So I'm probably going to play them with the Hermetic Order. Speaking of districts, they have a very interesting unique district, the Oppidum, which replaces the industrial zone. It's cheaper than the industrial zone, and it's also a variable area. They didn't say how much area, but even having it a little bit earlier will help a lot with early production. It will make it easier to compete for center wonders, it will make it easier to build up an early army quickly, it will be a really nice early production boost. But that's not all. When you build the first Oppidum, it unlocks the apprenticeship technology, so you will not have to research it at all. It also gets its own ranged attack, kind of like an encampment, and it gets major adjacency bonuses from quarries and strategic resources. So this is a super weird and super interesting district. So not only you will get an early industrial zone, you will be able to use it defensively, and you will also completely change the way you plan your industrial zones. And you will need the adjacency bonuses, because normally the biggest bonuses you can get for industrial zones are from dams and aqueducts, but here you will think about them completely differently. But on average, it should be easier to get a +5, +6 or maybe even better Oppidum using the quarries, strategic resources and mines bonus from the unique ability, compared to a +5, +6, +7 industrial zone as a regular civilization. Because if you want to build an industrial zone next to a dam, then you need a location that's actually viable for a dam. There aren't that many of those. And if you want to build it next to an aqueduct, you need a city that can actually have an aqueduct, and then you need to build the aqueduct itself. Here you don't need any of that. You need quarries, strategic resources and mines, and potentially ley lines, if you use the Hermetic Order, which personally I most likely will, because it will synergize nicely with how the goals work already. And I'm definitely excited to see how quickly you could beeline the Oppidum, then build it very early into the game, maybe with like a +5, +6 or a better bonus, which normally is not possible that early into the game. Even if you have a good location for a dam, you can't build a dam that early, because you need to research the technology for it. Not to mention, building the dam itself takes quite a bit of time. Here you just need a builder and a good spot, and then spam quarries and mines. So I think it should be very possible to get a +5, +6 or maybe even better Oppidum very early into the game, much earlier than any other civ could possibly get a +6 industrial zone. And then remember the culture bomb ability the Gauls get. So when you build the Oppidum, it will claim the adjacent unclaimed tiles with the culture bomb. So you won't have to spend gold to buy these tiles yourself. You will be able to send a builder right away and just build mines over there. So next up we got the unique unit, the Gaesatae, which replaces the warrior, so it's an ancient era unique unit. It gets additional combat strength when fighting stronger units and district defenses, but it is more expensive to train. So this could actually be a pretty decent unit for a very early rush, before your neighbor can get city walls for his cities. You could just spam these guys and try to brute force a city without city walls. That could be a pretty nice early game strategy as the Gauls. So last but not least, we got the ability of the leader himself, which is also a very interesting one. You get culture equal to 20% of the unit's cost when a non-civilian unit is trained. And furthermore, melee, anti-cavalry and ranged units get a +2 combat strength for every adjacent combat unit. So this is going to be especially nice for ranged and siege units, because you could just surround a siege unit with your other units, even like outdated weak units that you maybe didn't have enough gold to upgrade, or you don't intend to upgrade for whatever reason, and use them to give your siege unit a bonus, especially once you get observation balloons and they have free tile range. So overall, I really like this Civ. He has some potential for drastically different strategies. You could go for a culture heavy game, with a +1 culture for every mine, with a 20% culture boost for every non-civilian unit you train, and with the extra production you get and early production you get. If there are some crucial early game wonders that you need for any particular strategy, they will definitely be easier to rush as this guy, because he will have more production on average, at least on any map where you have like any reasonable amount of hills. His big weakness will be flat maps. If you have a flat map, not a lot of hills, he is going to be considerably weaker. But hey, he'll work great with the new Highlands map template. Still, that's not the only map where you will have a lot of hills, there are plenty. And as I mentioned earlier, I really think he could work very nicely with the Hermetic Order leyline bonus. I don't see a lot of people use the Hermetic Order because it's kind of weird and it can be hard to really take advantage of it. But with these guys, it will be much easier to take advantage of it because of how drastically different your district planning logic will be. It should synergize with the ley lines much better than an average Civ. At the same time, you don't have to play a culture game, you can easily play domination with this guy, with the extra combat strength bonus you get from adjacent units, with the extra production you get that will allow you to crank out units faster, and with more culture you gain from training units that will allow you to unlock corps and armies faster, because unlocking those requires culture. And then you could go for pretty much any victory. And with all the extra production this guy should be able to get, you can go for pretty much any strategy, because they all require production. Production is universally required for anything you want to do. It's definitely going to be a tough one for me, which Civ to play first, Byzantium or the Gauls. How about you guys? Which one do you like more? I really like them both for completely different reasons. Byzantium has some insane snowball potential, while the Gauls are a very unique civilization that will change the way you play quite a bit. As far as city planning goes anyway. And I always liked civilizations with a very unique playstyle, and the Gauls are definitely that. With that said, that's going to be the end of this video, so thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like if you did, I would really appreciate that, and subscribe for more civilization videos. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.